I had been driving for hours when my GPS threw me onto this dirt road, so dark it felt like it didn't lead anywhere at all. My headlights were the only thing stopping the night from swallowing me whole. I was exhausted, my body begging for rest, and my head throbbing, but staying out there alone on that freezing road felt even more dangerous than pulling over somewhere. So when I finally saw this old flickering vacancy sign, a wave of relief cut straight through me. It was a tiny rundown motel with a row of doors and a reception lit by a dying neon light. Nothing about it looked safe, but between that place and the empty highway, the motel still felt like the safer option. The moment I opened the lobby door, the smell hit me like a slap. The air was hot, humid, heavy with mold and old grease, the kind of smell that sticks to your skin the second you breathe it in. The man behind the counter looked as bad as the place. Dirty shirt, stained collar, messy beard, eyes staring somewhere far past me. It felt like I was interrupting a night he wanted to forget. I asked for a room. He answered with a slow, dragging voice, "Room 8, then shoved the key toward me with fingers stained yellow from nicotine. I walked down the hallway. Every door had a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and at the very end, a door with no number at all. The wood was scratched, chipped, worn down in strange places, like someone had tried to claw their way out. I went back and asked where room 8 was. He did not even look up. He just repeated, irritated, "Told you." End of the hall. The way he said that sent a chill up the back of my neck. I opened the door with no number. The smell hit instantly. Not just mold. Men's cologne, cigarette smoke, bourbon, fresh, recent. The room was clearly occupied. The bed was sunken, the blanket messy, clothes still folded on the dresser. No housekeeping had touched this room in days. Then I saw the key on the table. Room 9. There was no room 9 in that entire motel. Every hair on my arms and neck stood up, but I was too tired to go back and argue with that hostile, filthy clerk. I just needed a shower and a few hours of sleep. The bathroom was surprisingly cleaner than the rest. The hot water hit my shoulders, and for a few minutes I forgot where I was. Until I heard footsteps. Slow, dragging, right outside the bathroom. D-O-O-R, I froze. Listened. The footsteps continued for a few seconds, then disappeared. I got dressed, held my bag against me like a shield, and tried to convince myself the walls were just thin. When I finally lay down, I noticed lights moving behind my curtain. Someone was walking up and down the hallway with a flashlight. The beam kept stopping right in front of my window. Then the sounds started in the room next to mine. Furniture scraping. Heavy thuds. Something large being dragged across the floor. I just wanted to sleep. I wanted it all to end, then suddenly everything stopped. A silence so deep it felt wrong. A heavy, suffocating quiet that makes your body lock up because your instincts know something is coming. I decided to keep my bag ready by the door. I took a deep breath, closed my eyes, and somehow exhaustion finally pulled me under. I do not know how, but I fell asleep. I woke up without knowing why. The room was dark, but the hallway was completely black. The lights were out. Before I could understand what felt different, I heard it. The doorknob turning, slow at first, then faster, then twisting the other way, like someone was testing the lock. Like they were waiting for me to react. My heart pounded so hard I felt it in my ears. Then came the worst sound of all. The lock being forced. Someone trying a key. Terror hit me in a single wave. I grabbed my bag with shaking hands and ran into the bathroom, locking the door behind me. The door to the room was cracking. Someone was pushing it. Someone was coming in. I had to get out. Right then, I climbed onto the sink, pushed the old bathroom window open, and the glass groaned before finally giving way. Cold night air rushed across my face. I threw my bag through the opening, then shoved my arms out. My shoulder got stuck for a second, pure panic flooding my body, but I forced myself through until I tumbled onto the cold ground outside. The exact moment my feet hit the dirt, I heard it. The room door bursting open. Heavy footsteps inside. Then in the hallway, then moving toward the back of the building, toward me. I ran behind the motel. stumbling over gravel, my lungs burning, my heart smashing inside my chest. Every step felt like it took an entire lifetime. I reached my car, shaking so badly I could barely fit the key in. The ignition failed once, then again. Finally, on the third try, the engine roared to life. I floored it, kicking up dust. Peeling out of that parking lot like hell was right behind me, in the rearview mirror. Everything was pitch black. But for 1 second, I swear I saw a shape standing at the corner of the building, still watching me disappear down the road. I never went back, and I never will. I had been driving for hours. The road seemed endless, and the silence pressing in from every direction was starting to get under my skin. All I wanted was a place to sleep, take a hot shower, and wake up early to continue my trip. So when I saw a glowing motel sign in the middle of nowhere, I decided to stop. It seemed safer than staying on that dark, empty highway. The reception area was lit by a weak yellow bulb, and the air smelled like cheap cleaning products mixed with dust. The man behind the desk glanced up when I walked in. He wasn't friendly or rude, just too attentive. The kind of stare that doesn't simply look at you, it studies you, memorizes you. I asked for a room, and he asked for my ID. Normal. But the moment I handed it over, something shifted. He held the document for too long, turning it around, lifting it closer to his face, looking at me, then at the photo, then at me again. It didn't feel like verification. It felt like analysis. He said he needed to make a copy for safety and disappeared into a side room with my ID. I didn't like that. The building was too quiet, too empty, too isolated. But I was tired, hungry, sweaty, and all I wanted was a bed. When he came back, he seemed pleased. There was a strange, almost excited smile on his face, like he'd found something he wanted. He handed back my ID slowly and said, "Room 14 will be perfect for you, Sarah." My stomach twisted, not because he knew my name, he'd seen my ID, but because of the way he said it. Slow, savoring it, as if my name meant something special to him. I took the key and went to the room. It was clean, too clean, unnaturally silent. I dropped my things on the bed and headed back down the hallway to buy water and a snack from the vending machine. That's when things started to get worse. On my way, I passed a maintenance worker holding a toolbox. He stopped when he saw me and gave me a short, familiar smile. "Long night, huh, Sarah?" I froze. He said my name like we were old friends, like I'd been staying there for days. I asked how he knew who I was, but he quickly looked away and hurried through a side door, like he regretted saying anything. When I reached the vending machine, it was off. No light, no power, completely dead. The hallway felt wrong, stuffy, deserted. With a silence that made my heartbeat sound too loud, I went back to the reception desk to ask about the machine. But the original attendant was gone. In his place stood another man, older, taller, serious, a cold, calculating stare. He looked up slowly, as if he'd been expecting me, and said, "Is something wrong, Sarah?" I froze. The way he said my name felt heavy, practiced, like he was testing how it sounded out loud. I asked how he knew who I was, and he answered with a faint smile, "We like to know who's staying with us. It keeps everyone safer." Safer. The word sounded like a threat. He kept staring, taking in every detail about me, as if making mental notes. That was the moment my instincts began to scream that I needed to get out of there. Told him the vending machine wasn't working, and he tilted his head slightly, absorbing that information with too much interest. "I see. We can take a look, Sarah. Go ahead." The way he spoke my name again made my stomach drop, but I didn't want to show fear. I walked ahead, feeling the carpet damp under my shoes, while his slow, heavy footsteps followed close behind. The lighting felt worse than before. Shadows stretched strangely across the walls, and the air turned colder. When we reached the machine, still completely dead, he leaned in close and whispered, "Interesting. It was working earlier?" Then he crouched to inspect the lower panel, and the silence around us deepened until it felt like the building itself was listening. That was when I saw it dot at the end of the hallway. Near my room stood a shadow, a human shape, still watching, and then it moved. Not like a person moves, but like a reflection sliding across glass. The lights flickered twice, and when they steadied again, the shadow was gone. My heart pounded. I told the manager I would just grab something from the reception instead, desperate to get away from that hallway. He stood up slowly and watched me with that same unreadable expression. As I walked back, I noticed something that almost made me stop breathing. Every door in the hallway was cracked open. The same exact amount. A perfect line of narrow openings, as if someone had gone room by room, pushing each door open with identical precision. He saw me notice, and he smiled. Desks like to keep the air flowing. It creates a sense of community. Community. The word echoed in my mind like an alarm bell. I said I needed to grab my phone in the room and would be right back. He tilted his head, curious. Of course. Take your time, Sarah. No need to rush. That meant I should rush. I walked to my room. The door was more open than before. I stepped inside quickly. The smell told me everything. Someone had been in there recently. Very recently. I grabbed my bag with shaking hands, shoved my documents, keys, and phone inside. The bedspread was crooked. I had left it perfectly flat. Someone had sat there or stood up fast when they heard me coming. I didn't look around. Didn't check the closet, the bathroom, nothing. I went straight to the door, and the moment I gripped the handle, I heard a soft shift of weight behind me. Like someone adjusting their position on the floor or leaning away from the bed. I didn't turn around. I yanked the door open, stepped into the hall, and shut it hard behind me. The hallway was empty. Completely empty. No voices, no footsteps. No movement. Just the heavy, suffocating silence of a place waiting for something. My body didn't need permission. I ran. I reached the reception, and when I turned toward the exit, I saw them, the receptionist and the manager, appearing suddenly near the entrance, arguing in hurried whispers. One of them took a step toward me. The other grabbed his arm, trying to hold him back. I didn't wait to see anything else. I pushed the front door open, felt the cold night air hit my face, and sprinted to my car. The parking lot was completely empty except for my vehicle. I nearly dropped my keys, my hands shaking so badly, but somehow I got inside and locked the doors immediately. The engine took 2 agonizing seconds to start. When it did, I reversed without looking and sped toward the exit. As I approached the end of the driveway, I glanced in the rearview mirror by instinct. Not choice. They were standing in the doorway. Both of them. Watching me. One of them started moving toward a car. I didn't wait. I hit the gas as hard as I could. I drove for miles, checking my mirror again and again, waiting for headlights. But none appeared. Only after a long time, already parked at a brightly lit gas station full of people, did my hands finally stop shaking, and right there, I understood with absolute clarity. If I had stayed one more second in that motel, I never would have left.